Now we're live. All right. What up, y'all? Scott Joseph Phares here with Midwest Avenue here on the Inner Room podcast. I got my uncle here. His name is Jeff Phares, and he was actually a part of the band back in the very, very beginning. And we'll get to that, but first of all, I want to give a brief introduction here on my uncle here. He is an artist, an author, a musician, and my uncle. And so I kind of wanted to at least like touch base first real quick on your carving and everything, because you have what, 3 or 4 books out?
Actually, just 4.
4, just 4.
And one's in a reprint, so that's...
Heck yeah! But well, you had the reprint thing was updated photos and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah, and you can get them on Amazon. So if you're interested in wood carving and learning, you can pick his brain because he can teach you how right through his books if you don't attend any of his classes. So how did you get into wood carving? And because nobody in our family really was a wood carver that I know of. I know Grandpa did some leather stuff, but
yeah, Dad did some leather work, and he could draw when you get him to do it.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I think I
couldn't get him to do it.
I think I may have seen him draw one thing one time when I was a real little kid, and if I remember, it might have been a car with a guy inside of it.
He drew. I saw him draw a horse once, and that was. But
he wanted
it looked really good. I thought.
So maybe that's where the gene comes from.
I don't know. It wasn't Grandpa Glenn.
Yeah. Oh, he painted.
He was into painting, so it's just kind of.
But what made you, instead of like carving or drawing, what got you into wood carving?
I was in Branson on a vacation with my mother and father and family. I don't know if you were there or not.
I wouldn't have been probably because you were.
Oh no, it was back when the drakes were small.
Yeah, so you were wood carving when I was a kid. Like you were kind of really just starting to really kind of take off with your career, and you started traveling a little bit from what I remember when I was really little. But what made you? So did you see something in Branson?
Yeah. I just turned 16, got my license, and Mom and Dad and Dennis Mosley and all of them wanted to go to the water park. Well, I didn't want to go to the water park. I wanted to go to Engler's Block and see what the wood carving meant. And so I had my license. They let me have the car for the afternoon.
Lucky you.
Yeah, lucky me, really. I think back on it, it's like, oh, God. This guy checks my miles.
Yeah.
But anyway, I took off that afternoon. I hit all the carving spots on the strip in Branson, and I knew of a few of them. I didn't know them personally.
Right.
But I knew what they looked like and what in their work, And just kind of went from there and kept going and kept going and kept going. Kind of like your music's going.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Man, you're, like I said, you're packing 2 kids and a mic box and what else? Phone?
Every single thing that I can get a hold of to make the least amount of trips possible.
Yes.
So whenever you started carving and stuff, and really, because whenever you were first traveling to different events and stuff, you were more competing instead of teaching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was around that time that you got on, like, back in the time, there was, I think it probably still is a magazine called Chip Chats.
Yes.
That,
still out there.
It's kind of like the equivalent in the music world to like the Rolling Stone magazine, just to put some context and reference out there for some of you guys that may not be familiar with the wood carving world. But this guy got on the cover of it. How did that happen?
I don't know. I really don't. All I know is I got I had a subscription to him, and always have, and it showed up the mail one day, and I was like, what the hell?
Well, hey,
so,
life is full of happy surprises sometimes.
It was a thrill, man,
Did that help out the career and stuff?
Oh, jeez.
I bet it did, because it kind of put you on the map, so to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing that I remember you, like, big thing. And then from then, Was that about after that, was that about the time that you started with the books and stuff and started teaching more?
I did the books in '99. I started the books in '99.
Okay.
2000.
Yeah, so you'd been doing it for a little bit before then.
Yeah, I've been doing it since since Josh was born, 84.
84, yeah. Yeah, because I remember even like us being kids, because like me and my cousin grew up like brothers. I mean, I was out of your guys' house all the time.
Yeah, I know, yeah. That was cool.
They lived there, and I remember going down in the basement and stuff, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, like how the basement was set up, like to the left over here was like there was like a workbench and different things like that. You had your clamps and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
out Jan Russell?
Yes, yep.
And I had my little music room.
Right off to the right back there, and then Josh had like the playroom out there and
with
stuff.
A clown there.
I'm gonna have Josh on this eventually, and I'm glad you brought up the clown, because that was one of the things I was gonna bring up.
He'll probably put a hit out on me.
My cousin, everybody's got their fears. Mine is June bugs. But my cousin...
Seriously?
Yeah, I hate them, man. If you watch the last podcast that we did, there's a June bug comes flying in, and I punched it. And I killed it. And then another one I flicked off of here, because we had the garage door open behind here.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember there being that clown. Was it a painting? A clown painting? Or was
it was a Emmett Kelly.
Okay.
It was one of them you buy at a freaking flea market or something, you know.
And
it was really cool, I thought.
You thought, yeah. My cousin, being a little
mistake
stuff, he was not a fan of it. And from what I remember, didn't you keep it covered up?
We had to cover it.
That was one of my favorite things, because, like, to me, like, growing up, like, nothing ever scared Josh.
No, I know.
And so finally to see him, like, something that he didn't like and didn't want around, I was like, because like he was always 3 years older than me, always taller than me, always stronger than me, always just I looked up to him a lot, and so I was like, so I got that one thing over him, the clown thing. I never did. I think one time I might have went down there and uncovered it one time just to see what he would do. I think that was actually might have been the time that I ran upstairs. He was trying to.
Hey, you want to mess with him? Go up there for the weekend, visit and shit, and be sure when he's gone, throw a piece of hose curled up in his bed, and throw the covers over.
Did you do that to him?
Yeah, we did that to him. Me and Wes did. Ninja, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's like wanting to get out of his bedroom.
I would too. If
Wes and me were standing up there going, oh, fuck. Couldn't breathe.
Well, and when to find a snake out, because you guys lived way out in the country, and it was no uncommon thing to be walking outside. We'd be playing out under the trees, and the next thing you know, there's a snake cruising around somewhere,
Right.
Yeah, and then you had your music room off to the side there. I remember you always like playing for some reason I always remember you playing. What's the Kiss song? Detroit Rock City.
Oh.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Is that Detroit? Yeah, it's Detroit.
Yeah. For some reason I remember that, and then
oh man, that was so much fun.
I remember you listening to a lot of Dan Fogelberg and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how I got turned on to Dan Fogelberg, and then even before music and stuff, in high school and stuff, you were in bands and stuff around the area. Some with my dad, I think, weren't you? Yeah, and Jack Steggy.
Yeah, Jack and me and your dad and.
Oh shoot, what's his name up in Jacksonville?
Roger.
Roger, yes.
Yeah, he
Roger
was just
Watts.
down here yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he was.
He
come down. Because I told him to come get his stuff, So he come down, help Dad haul the chair out.
Oh, cool.
Anyway. So he was down here yesterday.
Oh, it's cool.
Cool.
He doing good?
I ain't seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured he's.
Yeah.
Always had a positive energy about him every time I've ever been around him, and even his daughters.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And great group of people there.
But anyway,
it's funny you mentioned about the seeing the woodcarving in Branson.
Yeah.
As a kid, and then some of my memories, big memories of a kid, is whenever we'd go with you, me and Josh would, to go to Branson whenever you'd be carving that.
Yeah, you guys had to ride in the back of the truck.
That was the best. But isn't it weird how...
Man. I look back on that and I'm thinking, that was child abuse.
No, it was...
We tried to make it as comfortable as possible.
I would, even to this day, I would still rather take a trip in the back of that truck than ride in a car seat, like on a long, like I'm going to go to South or North Carolina
this weekend,
and like I'm like, man, to be back there, because like we were like, so to let you guys know, like, what was it, a Dodge Ram?
Oh, well, the big one, red and black. I didn't have the red and black one. It was no, it was an S10.
No, this was I don't think you were driving the S10 at this. You had just gotten
the big truck?
Yes, the big one. Yeah, was it a Dodge Ram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was a Dodge Ram with big truck bed and had the camper shell over the back. So what Jeff would do he'd load all of his carving stuff up, but like in the very up.
Very up.
It's weird whenever you talk about it, but like close to the cab of the truck, but in the truck bed, there would be like two spots, and long enough for me and Josh to literally lay down, and we had enough room to stretch out and bring our toys and whatever we wanted, and snacks, and you had the window that opened up so we could open it up and talk to them and stuff, and like. We rode all the way to Branson and back that way all the time, and that was a freaking blast. Because like back there is like where like we got to really like use our imagination and like think about like what even we wanted to do like whenever we grew up and stuff, and played a lot of games back there, and it was a freaking blast, man.
Well, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, man, them poor guys back there.
Heck no. Oh, I mean, if you got like, just think if you're going on a trip and you can lay down and go to sleep comfortably.
I was gonna say comfortably, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. And instead of sitting in like a car, to where you got like just this much space.
Yeah, really.
It's like sign me up. I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
So we went to Branson a lot, and that was always a lot of fun. I remember what was it, Silver Dollar City?
Mm-hmm.
Where you carved out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You taught classes there, I think, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they had like just down across
where the swimming pools were.
Yes, the swimming pool and like the game room. They had like a pool table and stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
That was at Compton Ridge.
Compton Ridge, okay.
Campground. It was for it's called the Woodcarver's Rendezvous.
Okay, well, that's right. Yes,
yeah.
That.
Yeah, you guys.
That was
we
a
always
blast.
took you guys with that.
I still remember every time we went there. For some reason, we played the same like. I remember one song specifically we played a lot on the jukebox there. It was "She Don't Know She's Beautiful" by Sammy Kershaw, and I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Why that and Vidalia.
Remember that?
But it was just like, yeah, it was awesome. So then
that's cool.
Yeah, so you probably didn't know some of that, did you?
No, I did not. I did not.
Yeah, it was a blast. I think back on those trips a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
And and one thing too that me and Jeff have in common, well, except for today because I am wearing shorts. I've seen this man wear shorts maybe 3 or 4 times in his life, and it was because he was maybe swimming. But the only I rarely ever wear shorts too, and people call me out on it's like 100 degrees. I'm like, well, you always gotta be ready to for business. You never know. You gotta look. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel more comfortable wearing pants. So
yeah.
Because if I wear my shorts out in public, it drives the ladies wild. Never seen it.
You got little fireballs on.
They've never seen legs so white. I think it's the second coming, but it's just me walking down the street,
Like Josh, red face, fight leg.
That's right. I got sunburned yesterday. We went to Grafton.
Oh, did you?
And took the kids and stuff and went and ate. And there was a band there, and we danced the whole time, me and the kids, and for like an hour straight out in the sun, just beating down on you. Maybe we put a little bit of sunscreen on, but we're surviving.
Oh, cool.
One thing I also wanted to bring up too, Midwest Avenue, which me and Josh came up with that name in the back of the car or back of the truck on the way back, or to Branson, one of the two.
Oh, really? I always wondered where that
It came from, we went and saw Chris Ledoux at the rodeo in Fort Madison, the Tri-State Rodeo.
Yeah.
And his band was Chris Ledoux and the Western Underground.
Right.
Yeah, and the Western Underground band that was playing with him, like his backing band, also had their own stuff out, and I remember him selling like cassettes. And like, so we thought about, man, that'd be cool to have like Western, like, so like we tried something underground, you know, and then it's like Western, like Midwest, and then Avenue, just kind of, I don't know where that came from.
That's cool.
That's we're just kind of brainstorming off of that. But me and Josh always like wrote songs and played music and stuff and tried.
I know you guys were always
all the time trying to create.
And Matt.
Oh yeah, and trying to create stuff, and then we finally got to where like we got a little bit more serious about it and wrote some decent-ish songs, and we needed a lead guitar player and a drum player, so we got him and my dad, and we played our first show. The first time we played live in front of a crowd was at the high school. At the time, the chorus and band director, Eric Norris, yeah. I talked to him to see if we could play 2 of our songs at the spring concert, and so we did. That was a wild time and very nerve-wracking. And then we went on to do other shows. We did a lot out at the Great River Road Opry. A lot of shows out there, and we recorded actually 5 songs. I'll have to put some of them at the end of this so you guys can kind of hear some of it for some context. But one of the songs was called "She Said Goodbye," and Jeff wrote this killer like acoustic guitar fast picking thing.
Fast picking thing.
Well, and I'll tell you something that's crazy is years ago, whenever my dad was in TNT and the Dynamite Cowboys,
that's a pretty song though.
Guy named Rich. That played with TNT and the Dynamite Cowboys, who's now in a band called Exit 52. Back then, he loved that song, loved that guitar part, especially that intro, and he learned it. He learned it. I remember, like, whenever I was in high school, and like I was seeing them play somewhere, and he's like, "Hey, check this out," and so he played it. And I kid you not, last year in Grafton, we were playing, and Exit 52, the band that Rich is in, was playing just behind us. So after our show got done, I went over there to check out them for about 30 minutes or so, and they were setting up, and then I didn't know that Rich even saw me there, and so I walked up there, and I was out in the crowd, and he's like setting up his guitar, and he started playing the intro to "She Said Goodbye" last year.
He did?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's wild.
And he loved it that much.
That's a pretty song, man.
Yeah.
That, you know.
But just that picking part, he loved that fast. Like, yeah, oh man. And
too much coffee that day.
That's right. It might have been. We recorded that at Everett Bugg's house.
Yeah, that's right.
That was
fun.
That was a fun.
You guys were in the bathroom singing.
Yeah, that was the vocal booth.
Vocal booth, right? Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and that was so cool. Just to be able to drum something up like that here in a small town area where, like, I mean, the closest recording studio at the time was, I mean, I guess Mason's maybe had one up in Jacksonville.
Area. I think.
But so we went to Hillview, Illinois. It's the first place we recorded at. And yeah, that's really all I got. I don't want to keep you too much because this man's time is limited. He's flying to California. And he's got some wild stuff coming up. He's getting married.
Yes.
Yeah, is there anything looking back on that I didn't touch on that you wanted to bring up? I'm trying to think.
No, buddy. Like I said, it's great to be here. You know, I didn't realize you had all this set up. And this is really cool.
Yeah, this is all, I mean, I had some kind of some idea of like what I wanted to do like for our little podcast studio, and then this little thing right here, the keyboard to run across the bottom of the screen there.
Oh, okay.
This keyboard is immobile. It fell off of that dolly that's set.
Oh, did it?
One of the wheels was bad on it. So we were in, I think, Cedar Rapids, Iowa this year. I was pulling out we have a tall like column speaker, it's about like this tall.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pulling it, and that's whenever the wheel went bad, and it fell over, broke the speaker. Well, not broke it, but it disconnected the horn, and we had to buy a new sound, like, I don't know, whatever makes the horn go. We had to buy a new piece for it. Oh, and then the weekend after that, Steve was moving his keyboard out in Belleville with that dolly, and it took a face plant. But it was so dark, we like looked, and he like ran his fingers down like all the way up to about the middle of the keyboard to see if any of them were broken. He's like, "Nope, we're good." And then the next day, I went and looked in our trailer, and I'm like, "It's not good.
Not good, not at all, man."
And so it's been sitting over here the whole time, and I'm like, I sat down before we got to record. I'm like, what if I pulled that keyboard up just to have it kind of just there?
Yeah, there you go.
So, but yeah. Well, thank you for your time, young man, and behave yourself.
Mr. Scotty, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this.
Heck yes, a lot of fun. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
On the Inner Room
Y'all
Podcast.
take care. God bless.
Heck yeah. Catch y'all down the road.